The world won't know, so somebody gotta talk about it. Girls wanna know what you did to that woman. The world won't know, so somebody gotta talk about it.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Chats with Champs, sharing the stories of champs from all walks of life. I'm your host, Tiara Alise. Usually I'd be here with my bro Peso, but today he had more important things to do, so I'll be holding it down for him. And today we'll be chatting with one of my very good friends who has been doing some amazing things in the world of sports, Morgan Wells, aka Mo. And for those of you who don't know who Mo Wells is currently the director of pro and elite sports here at Sports Academy. Prior to arriving here in Dallas, Mo ran the show at The Collective in Austin, Texas, where he served as the director of professional sports. Previously, he was the vice president of professional sports for House of Athlete in Western Florida. Within HOA, he oversaw all sports training, marketing, and business relations for a wide range of sports affiliations, such as the NFL, the NBA, the WNBA, MLB, and Olympic track and field. At HOA, he trained some of the top athletes in the country. Some of these names include Super Bowl champion Leonard Fournette, KJ Osborne, Anthony Walker Jr., Kenny Moore III, Jarvis Landry, Jordan Canada, Alacia Johnson, Gervonta Davis, Jamar Chase, John Robinson, and a plethora of others. Wow, that was a mouthful. Before making the move to the House of Athlete, Mo was a strength and conditioning coach for IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, where he worked with all national teams and was the head of speed development for the entire academy. I got you. He was a key contributor to the 2020 National Championship IMG Academy football team. Wells also oversaw the number 4 ranked NFL combined training class inside the league, which was a home for outstanding prospects like Patrick Queen of LSU and the Baltimore Ravens, Justin Jefferson of LSU and the Vikings, Kaylavon Chasson of LSU and Jaguars, and DeAndre Swift from the University of Georgia and Detroit Lions. Mo Wells also oversaw movement for NBA Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant, and others. Mo's other coaching experience includes serving as the Sports Performance Specialist, Strength and Conditioning Coach at Michael Johnson Performance in Dallas, Texas, Assistant Director of Sports Performance at Traction Sports Performance in Baton Rouge, and Performance Coach with EXOS, Adidas in Manhattan, New York, as well as a graduate assistant with LSU's Strength and Conditioning in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Well, first of all, welcome back to Dallas, Mo. How has the transition back to Dallas been? Because I think the last time I talked to you, where were you, like in Sarasota, Florida or something like that?
Yeah, so Sarasota, Bradenton is where IMG is.
Okay.
That is where I went once I left here, and then I went to Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Okay. So how does it feel to be back in Dallas?
It's comfortable, you know.
Okay.
Not like super comfortable in the sense of where you get complacent with anything, but it's familiar territory, right?
Okay.
You know, I'm from North Louisiana, so you got friends, you got family, you have athletes that I left here that I was training, new athletes that I'm bringing into the area.
Okay.
And a plethora of other things that I have been able to amass over the years since I left.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's been smooth. I've had an opportunity to come back here in years prior, but you know, timing matters. So we're glad to be here.
So is Dallas going to be your home, or do you?
I'm hoping so. You see all those places
listen, all of them places in there. So
hopefully this will be my home for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, working on some special things, cooking up with my place of employment that I work with now.
Yeah.
As well as some other things in the private sector, in entertainment, sports media, sports marketing too.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Good. And I mean, glad to have you here. You've been doing like all types of crazy things. Well, not crazy in like a bad way, but just like, wait a minute, is he with so-and-so? He was just with. So I'm like, I gotta have him on this show because I need him to tell me about his journey. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's been years since we last been able to just sit here and talk about it. So we're here to talk about it today. So just getting a little bit into your history, you graduated from LSU. But I'm curious to know, was LSU your dream school, or did you have other schools that you wanted to go to?
LSU I was actually against going to LSU when I was growing up. So
Why?
Because it was like, I've always been the guy to, even when I was young, to go off the path, right? And being from Louisiana, LSU was always like, That's where you go. That's what
Everybody goes to LSU from Louisiana.
So when I finally found something I was good at, which being sports and being in academia and all this stuff, I ended up signing with McNeese State. I didn't sign with LSU coming out of high school. Me and my best friend, we both signed to McNeese State in Lake Charles. Then I got on the LSU wave because I've always wanted to do things as big as possible. So, for more or less, I decided to not stay at McNeese and transfer it out, chase my dreams, and say, okay, hey, that's the big stage over there. Like, this was cool. It was cool to get all this full ride and all this other stuff. I would have NIL was a thing when I was in college. I would have really took off in Lake Charles. It was so small, and I never wanted to be boxed in.
Right.
So
LSU, do you think that because you went to LSU, did it give you a bigger platform?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I didn't go to LSU, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair.
So if you didn't go to LSU, because I want to play devil's advocate, what other school would you have gone to?
I was going to transfer to McNeese State regardless. I was going to the University of Texas.
Okay, Austin.
Yep.
The University of Texas, Longhorns. That's why you're there. That's why you're there so much.
So,
Okay. So you ran track at LSU. When did you first get into track? Like, was this something you did as a kid?
I didn't start running track until competitively for real until the 10th grade.
10th grade.
Yeah.
That's kind of late for most track. Late. Yeah, that's kind of late for athletes.
Like elementary school, middle school, you start running little meets and stuff. I didn't start running. The only reason I ran track is because my defensive backs, I was football. Yeah. And I was football, baseball. And
you played football?
Yes.
Yes. Never knew that. Learned something new.
My first sport was baseball. My second sport was football. So I played football since I was 6. So growing up, in those two sports, I only ran track because my position coach in football was like, everybody's running track. Yeah. It's like, hey, y'all need to go try out. I mean, not try out, but y'all can come get faster. Yeah. All right, fine. Turns out I was good at it. And, it kind of blossomed from there. I've always been kind of a hard worker, not kind of a really hard worker at what I'm doing. So whether it was football, basketball, baseball, tennis, whatever the case may be, I played it to my strengths.
Yeah. So when you left football, I mean, describe what that moment was like, because now you're leaving a sport that you're familiar with, that you've done most of your life, to get into a sport that you're like new to, but you just knew that it was going to help you.
I had a really good coach, Coach Keith Bilbo at Captain Shreve in Shreveport. He helped me out a lot, but you didn't do it simultaneously. Yeah. You don't just quit one and go into
right.
Like in high school, you play 4 or 5 different sports.
Yeah.
So, but at some point in your career, one stands out for you for what's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6", 150. I wasn't going to the league.
Yeah.
So stop growing. So therefore, I was decent enough in track and field to go to the next level. So that's what I did.
Yeah. Okay. And we see where that has taken you. It's giving you so many opportunities. So you've kind of found your lane. So for college athletes who are kind of in that transition or trying to find their lane, and they're like, hey, I may not make it to the league. Right. What is some advice that you'd give to them?
I think the advice for them would be to find your wheelhouse. And what I mean by finding your wheelhouse means that, okay, hey, I want to work in marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's so many different branches in marketing, but just get through that first one. We can get to the branches later, because I always wanted to be in some type of sports medicine or some type of biology. Yeah. Some type of, I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon at first.
Yeah.
So that was my market, right? That was where I wanted to go into. So people that's into that transition where they're coming from high school to college or college into the pros, and one thing isn't working out, going to the next. Find whether anything that you're interested in, and you probably know this as well, you can profit off of.
Right.
Whatever the case may be. If you are interested in waste removal, if you are interested in sports, if you are interested in, no matter what the case may be, if you do it well enough, if whoever is the best or one of the best at anything that they're doing, they're going to be able to make a living from it. Yeah. So I would say, chase that passion and chase that, feeling of what is important to you.
Right.
Because it's 2023. There's a lane for everything.
Absolutely.
There's a lane for e-gaming.
Yeah.
So there's endless possibilities.
Yeah. And just piggybacking off of you with just mentioning endless possibilities, there was a point of time in your life where you had underwent a traumatic event. You had brain surgery back in 2016.
Right.
Did you feel at that moment that maybe your life was just going to change drastically, or describe how you felt when you in that moment.
And arrogantly enough, I really took it in stride. I went into it like when I found out about it, because it was an accident when I found out about it. And when I found out about it, I was like, okay, I'll be fine. I'll be going back to work. Like I told my boss, it was my senior year of track and field. It was the week of our national championship. But I had also started my internship with LSU Strength and Conditioning. So I told my boss at LSU, I was like, hey, going to the hospital. Well, I swear.
Okay, wait a minute, because I read the article and you're talking like a brain tumor the size of a tennis ball. Yeah. There's no way that me in my right mind would have been like, oh, I'm going to be fine, y'all. I'm going to see y'all next week.
Oh, Miranda Coleman, Tommy Moffitt, Eric Donovan as my witnesses. I called my boss at work. I said, hey, I'm going to the hospital.
You said it so casually, though.
I didn't know what it was at first.
Okay.
So I said, I'm going to the hospital. I'm messed up. My head is hurting so bad I feel it in my teeth. But I had always had these episodes of like, I thought I was having like stomach virus.
Yeah.
Or like super bad migraines since I was in college.
Yeah.
Turns out I had the brain tumor for 15 years. So they told me, they went and got the scans. They were actually, when I got there, they did the whole routine. You go to the ER.
Yeah.
They give you fluids. They check all your vitals. They're like, hey, we're about to discharge you. You're fine. I was actually having a stroke. And luckily, talk about LSU, one of the doctors that was there knew me from running track at LSU. So he was like, okay, let's just check a couple things before you go. We went and did a CAT scan. Did the CAT scan, he was like, yeah, you have to check in right now. He was like, we have to admit you have a brain tumor. Show me the scan. I'm like, okay. So then I had to go do another MRI in like an hour. I told my mom, she's in Shreveport. I told her, it was like 5 in the morning too.
Yeah.
Called, said, hey, I got a brain tumor. I'm about to get an MRI machine. I'm going to call you when I get out.
Okay, I know she panicked.
Oh, panicked. My mom was panicked. Anybody know my mom? No,
I know she panicked at that moment.
She hit the gas. So obviously was there probably 2 hours later. You know, it's
gosh, that's like what, 6 hours or something? For Shreveport to
So, but at the same moment, once I found out and got through that day, telling my boss, hey man, don't give away my GA, don't give away my internship. I'm gonna be right back. Like that was my mindset going through the whole thing. I promise.
And that's just what I don't understand is that you're not thinking about like what's going on at the moment. You're like, hey, look, I worked hard for this internship. Don't get out of the way. I'll be back.
I worked hard to get on this track team. I worked hard to get my scholarships. I worked hard to get the internships and the jobs that I had. I'm like, don't get my stuff up. I'll be right back.
I just can't believe that was what was going through your head at a moment like this. Yeah. But just like, so what, I guess, where did this optimism come from? Because it doesn't seem like you were down about it or that you let it get to you. Where did this sense of optimism?
I think that is deep rooted in how you're raised and what you go through, right? I think that as an adolescent or a teenager, as a kid, what you're exposed to and what you experience molds you for who you are in your later teen years, early 20s, who you are throughout life, right? And talk about biology and physiology and cerebral cortex development, all of those different things of what shaped you.
Yeah.
I had to have that opposite coming from where I'm from. If you don't have optimism, you're going to fall into a hole. Fall into a trap. So, you know, I was raised around some strong people and who I had to be even stronger for from a very early age. And I think that has just seeped into the rest of my life. And I've taken that attitude into athletics, into my professional career, into health issues, you know, thankfully, obviously I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I took it in stride because that was the worst thing in my life up to date, but it's not like I hadn't dealt with something before. I think that people have the most traumatic experiences when they haven't experienced anything before, right? That had some type of adversity or something that's kind of derailed them. Come along to kind of knock them 10 steps back. Fortunately, I had plenty of that. So, you know, I was able to take that in stride.
Okay, so this wasn't the first traumatic incident that happened to you. So
Shreveport.
I mean, listen, I was born in Louisiana too, so I know how it is in the trenches. But it's like, you know, it's something when it's happening to other people. Like, okay, so and so got killed. It's like RIP shirts everywhere every other week. But then when it's happening to you, you're like kind of like, because you know I've had a traumatic experience myself, but it's like when you see it happening to somebody else, it's like, okay, well, that's bad, but it's not happening to me.
Right.
But then when it happens to you, it's like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I need to take a step back. So what was the biggest lesson that you learned out of that whole experience?
I think the biggest lesson that I learned out of that whole experience had to be that life is fragile. You're not invincible, so take time to be grateful for every day that you have. Right. I think that at that point in life, I was just going. And, sometimes you can get down to yourself, whether that be a depressive state, whether that be really making small problems, big problems mentally. Right. And from that day forward or that event forward, it was like, I can do anything. Like, I can get through anything now after that. Yeah. So from that optimism probably went from 10 to 1,000. Yeah. After that.
YOLO.
Look, we out here.
So do you have like a motto that you live by?
I do not. I always say faith prevails. Faith always prevails for me. And, I just try to always be a consistently hard worker in that too, and not just always depend on something to come through for me, but have that, but I always want to be a consistently hard worker. And I think that mindset too got me through that same event. Like I have something to look for on the other side of this. Yeah. So let's get there, Mo.
Yeah. And that's your motto right there. Faith prevails. Look, that might be your next tattoo. So what about role models? Were there any people that you looked up to or a person that you looked up to growing up?
I was raised on a lot of women. So I had my grandmother, my mother, of course, but I didn't have many positive male role models around. So that was a thing. Okay. You have the people that you look up to like externally, but when I think of a role model, I'm thinking of somebody that like impacts your life, at a deeper level. Probably had my high school football coach, track coach, like I said, Keith Bilbo. Mm-hmm. That was early on. When I got into college, I got a role model and Coach Benny Brazil and a couple others. But early on, I didn't have many. Yeah. That was just kind of something that was in me I had to be the strong person in my setting. Yeah. So in that, you gotta make yourself your own role model, in essence.
But even like TV, like was there anyone that you looked up to on TV?
I was a big Allen Iverson guy. Okay. I was in sports, so Allen Iverson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Brian Dawkins were kind of my go-to. Yeah. It was actually crazy because I have a relationship with him now because that whole like early 2000 Pittsburgh Steelers situation, like Ryan Clark, Troy Polamalu, all those guys, and now being really close friends with Ryan Clark. Like I've had moments in my later career. Like now, it's like childhood me is like, right. I've met hundreds of celebrities. Yeah. And just now it's like, dang, I used to look up to you. I'm not going to say this out loud, but I looked up to you when I was little and now you need me for different stuff.
Yeah. So it's like the tables turned a little bit. And it's like you look up to these people growing up, not ever thinking like maybe I'm going to meet them one day or even work with them one day. Yeah. So what was that? Well, let me say this. How did it feel to you when it finally clicked in your head? Like, I'm really with this person that I look like. Did you have an aha moment or like a starstruck moment at some point in your life?
It's really crazy because I really didn't, because I gradually built up to it. Yeah. Because when I was in high school, I was super popular in high school. So I was around the people that were super popular in that area. Right. I got into college at McNeese, there wasn't a lot going on, but when I got into LSU, I was at LSU during a time where almost damn near everybody went pro. Yeah. So from 12 to 16, from Ben Simmons to Leonard Fournette to Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry to Alex Bregman to so many different, like the LSU track team, like it was 12 sprinters. I think all the other 11 went pro. Yeah. So now, and that transformed from you just being a great collegiate athlete to now these are people on commercials. I see them on commercials and billboards. Like I knew this person before that. And and that just segued into my postgraduate career and my professional career of being around. I could call Michael Vick right now, right? I can call Ryan Clark right now. Yeah. I can call Hugh Jackson or whoever else. I can call, like I was signed with Rock Nation. I can call Juan Perez or anybody else, that would be on that list. And, it's a cool thing. You still do have some aha moments. Okay. You get in some settings. Like I've been to some Michael Rubin events, and you just looking there like,
Yeah.
everybody here. And then especially you get those aha moments when people recognize you.
Yeah.
You know, and recognize your work and recognize who you are around and whose life you've impacted. Also, I think that takes the cake for anything, knowing that, oh, dang, Kevin Hart came up with shit like that.
Right.
I saw you on X.
It's like, so now they're coming up to you and you like, I'm kind of him,
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of him a little bit. So I think that's, like I said, I think that's just incredible, and just continuing to watch your journey. It's just like, I told you before, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. But you mentioned Rock Nation, and you know they had that thing going around on social media, 500K or Jay-Z. Which one you taking?
I'm taking the 5. I've been around Jay. They don't even talk that much. Like, I'm taking the 500. So everybody, Dale, Jay, everybody else won. Hope y'all know I'm taking the 500. I'm for sure taking
All right, well, we know Mo got that 500K. Look, switching gears a bit, you talked about the basketball players that you've looked up to and some football players. Who's on your football Mount Rushmore? Who are your top 4 football players of all time? And they can be current or past.
It has to be 2 different.
Okay, I'm not gonna make it hard for you then. Okay, so let's do from the past, retired, former, and then current.
Have to go. I have to go.
Who are we starting with, former or current?
Former.
Okay, let's do it.
Former. I'm going Sean Taylor.
Okay.
I am going now former Tom Brady. I'm going Deion Sanders.
Okay.
I'm also going.
You got one more.
I got one.
Make it count.
I gotta make it freaking count. I'm gonna probably have to go Mike Vick.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna have to go to Mike Vick.
That's fair.
Like the holistic process for all of these people.
Okay.
So I'm going current.
Let's do it.
Oh man, you're gonna get me in trouble. The guys don't care. I want to do a lot of NFL now. Current. I'm gonna have to say Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Thankfully, he's one of my athletes. I'm gonna have to also say Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna have to go Michael Parsons. He's one of mine, so I'm not gonna get in trouble for that one. I'm gonna get in trouble for the 4th. Let me see here.
You got one more. They about to start texting you right now.
So when they see it. I think that number 4 spot has to go to. I'm gonna give it to one of mine. I'm gonna go Jamar Chase.
Okay, that's fair. You cheated, but okay, we'll go with that. That's a good combo right there. Now go former basketball. Who we got?
Basketball. I'm going
of all time.
Of all time.
All right.
So I'm going Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I'm going Kobe Bryant. Once again, when I think of the best ever, I think holistic. Kobe Bryant. I'm thinking of Magic.
Okay.
And I'm gonna also go. I can split between Shaq and AI.
Choose one.
All right, I'm going AI.
Okay.
Because once again, like I think about what did you do on the court and off the court. Like
That's fair.
Kind of cultural impact did you have? What did you do in sports, and media? What did you do on the court? What did you win? You know, where's your brand today?
Yeah.
Like all those things matter to me.
That's important too, because most people, whenever they do their Mount Rushmore, they think about just skill and performance.
100%.
They don't think about life outside of it. So that's fair.
100%.
All right, now current. Who we have? Thought you was gonna get away.
It's easy. You know, John Morant for sure. That's a layup. John Morant, LeBron James, Steph Curry. Oh, that last one. 12, LeBron, Steph. And I gotta go with. I'm getting trouble for this too. I'm gonna go Luka.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can agree with that one.
Yeah,
I agree. What do you love most about what you do? Like, what is it that just about what you do that just makes you want to get up in the morning and just?
I think that what I love most about one, I get to wear what I want to wear. That was a big thing. That was a big thing. Like I go to work in this. That was a big thing. I wanted to be able to pick a profession where I did things my way.
Yeah.
You know, and that encompassing all of my experience that I have over the years to even formulate what my way means.
Yeah.
So you know, and so that's big to me, and that's what I love. But also what I truly love is seeing the results of my athlete's preparation, right? So knowing that I had either a small part or a big part to do with the stuff that everybody cheers for.
Yeah.
Like y'all cheering for Bijan Robinson touchdowns. Y'all are cheering for Justin Jefferson touchdowns. Y'all are cheering for Ja Morant being on the court. You're cheering for Javante Davis in this fight. You're cheering for, you know, Alasha Johnson at this track meet. Yeah, so all these different things and being able to say, okay, I had something to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, and it could they could either be the same athlete without you, they could go forwards, backwards, whatever the case may be, but no matter what, at that moment, at that time, I had something to do with it. And I think that is one of the greatest feelings, you know, and what I love about what I do.
After everything is said and done, like what do you want to be remembered for?
Yeah. I think I want to, one, I want their resume to get longer. One, I want the resume to get longer, but then two, I want people to remember the experiences that they had with me. So that for the people that dealt with me, I want them to remember the experiences.
Yeah.
So that Mo never did anything flawed. Mo always took care of us. Mo always put his best foot forward when it comes to dealing with us. And I also want to be remembered as one of the most positive and influential faces in private sector or even just sports performance in a professional realm. Yeah. Holistically, all around.
Holistically, that's the word of the day. Holistically. We got to adopt holistically as the word for the day.
Put it all in a bucket.
There you go. Look, we from Louisiana. Make it a gumbo. Make it a gumbo. Let's go. So is there an athlete that you haven't worked with that you would like to work with?
I would love to give me a tennis star.
Okay.
I had a small opportunity. It just didn't work out timing wise and location wise for like the top ranked tennis star for. If I had to say anybody, probably like Coco Gauff.
Mm-hmm. She's on her thing. Yeah, she's on fire.
Like up there. Emerging, I think I always have to go towards sports that I'm not in. Right? Yeah. I have kind of habit going for the sports that I'm currently in, but if anybody, I'll probably say getting into that tennis realm would be super dope.
All right. And I think that would be dope to see that too, because you don't see like most trainers who specialize in sports performance with football. They typically, it's rare that you see them in anything else besides like, you know, tennis would be a great example of something that's just shifting completely far left from what you're used to. And I'm pretty sure it'll be worth the challenge. And
I mean, at IMG Academy, I had every sport. So I had lacrosse, football, tennis, soccer. Track and field, I had every sport. Same thing. If you're in the collegiate sector of strength and conditioning, sports performance, you work with every sport.
Right. Okay.
Right. So I just took that same mantra into the private sector and just crossed paths with a lot of great athletes in various sports and just took it as far as I could. You know. So and if you train one really good one, then they kind of
everybody else will fly to it.
It's like, oh, well, he's the best at this. Let's go over there. You know, and it just kind of snowballs from there. And that's all it was.
What about baseball? Have you worked with baseball at all?
Yes, I have. So when I was at Traction Sports in Baton Rouge, so I worked when I was a GA intern at LSU. I worked at LSU baseball. When I was at Traction Sports coming back from Exos from New York City in Baton Rouge, that was their main clientele, baseball. So I probably had 15 to 20 professional baseball players down there, and then combine that with my NFL group. So like Baton Rouge is my first dose of really outside of the collegiate setting. Was my first dose post-grad of getting into a bunch of different sports. Because I had tennis, I had high school level tennis, I had MLB, MILB, and then I had NFL athletes too.
Good. I mean, like I said, the list just continues to go on, and the more you talk, the more I'm learning that it's not just like what we see on Instagram. It's way more than that. So shifting gears a bit, because we talked a lot about like what you do in your work. Now we're about to get personal and get in your business. So Mo, you've given us all types of knowledge and dropped a lot of gems today. But before we wrap up, I want to play this game with you.
Okay.
It's called Mo Knows.
Okay.
And we want to see what Mo really knows. So I'm going to ask you questions about athletes that you've worked with, and I'll give you 3 multiple choice answers, and you have to choose the answer. So if y'all work with Mo and he does not get this right, then y'all better get on him.
If it's a birthday, I'm cooked. If it's a birthday,
it's you'll see.
All right.
Okay. So number 1, Alasha Johnson was the runner-up in which hurdles competition at which USA? Wait, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. Okay. Number 1, Alacia Johnson was the runner-up in which hurdles competition at the USA Indoor Track and Field Championship? Was it A, the 60 meter, B, the 80 meter, or C, the 100 meter?
Indoor 60 meter hurdles.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. It was the 60 meter. Number 2, don't get too cocky. Leonard Fournette scored at least 1 touchdown in the first 6 games while playing for which team? Is it A, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or B, the Jacksonville Jaguars? You didn't even let me finish. You knew that one.
I knew his touchdown count. We talked about his touchdowns while he was in Tampa. I was like, bro, why didn't I give it to you in the red zone?
Okay, so that's 2. You got 2. All right. So next question, number 3. Ja Morant confessed that he wanted to dunk on which of these NBA players? Was it A, Steph Curry, B, LeBron James, or C, Luka Doncic?
Had to be LeBron.
It was LeBron.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. You got that one correct,
Steph
too.
ain't jumping with nobody. Steph ain't jumping with nobody. I'm pretty sure he's dunked on Luka, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he maybe once or twice.
See?
Okay. All right. That's 3 out of the 4. Last question. And I mean, this might be easy, but whatever. I'm still going to do it anyway. Number 4, Justin Jefferson listens to which artist before games? Is it A, NBA Youngboy, B, Drake, or C, Lil Wayne?
Oh, because he listens to 2 of them. I gotta go with him and say Wayne. Because if he said that on the show, I know he was completely correct. So he probably said Wayne.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, you got 4 out of 4 correct. Yeah. Good for you. So you know your athletes.
You know, I know their tendencies too. So
I still think you cheat. But anyway, we'll give you that. All right, so you got 4 out of 4 correct, which we love because that means you pay attention to your athletes. Mo, I want to thank you for coming onto this show. I know you're super busy, being great. So thank you for taking time to be here with me. And until next time, maybe we're going to do this again whenever we get an update, when that resume get a little longer.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you.
The world won't know, so somebody got to talk about it.